Anyway, so yes, I'm sure that no one really is ever going to be able to hear my whole tale of how I became a streamer because it's way too long, but Aaron Carter, and then I met all these other streamers through Aaron Carter, basically, but it was the Carterverse, and then we had the IP2 crossover with Aaron and Mondo, and Aaron had Mondo and Abba staying at his house at the same time, and then he kicked them both out at the same time, and then that was the first merger between Carterverse and IP2, and then, but what really, like, nobody from the Carterverse really knew, like, who IP2, what IP2 was, or who Mondo was, at least I didn't, excuse me, until Abba was actually kind of like a big like mouthpiece for IP2. She was always talking about the RVs and stuff. I think she watched like RV6, or yeah, I think it was. And then Mondo stole money off Aaron's mantle. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's not cool. So then, yeah, so I didn't really know who these guys were. Abba was like in love with Casey. I remember she had a big crush on Casey, and I had no clue who Casey was at that time because I didn't watch. And she was always talking about Blade and the RV and Casey, and I didn't care because I was like way too embroiled in the Carterverse at that time, so I couldn't really pay attention to that. But I had heard the names, so I somewhat knew, and then I heard around from comments and commenters and people commenting and stuff, kind of cluing me in on who these people were, but I still really had no clue, and I couldn't be arsed. I didn't give a fuck about like actually watching the RV or about watching anyone on IP2. I didn't even know what IP2 actually really was until I met Captain. Well, until right before I met Captain, and then definitely learned a lot from Captain. But yeah, it's so okay. I'm jumping ahead too much. I'm sorry. So we had the Mondo, Aaron Carter, Abba blender thing, and then Abba loud mouthpiece for Casey and Blade. So I knew a little bit about what IP2 was, just about that, but I didn't actually watch it, and I wasn't really familiar with the RV6 or the cast or anything like that. But the big thing for me, what really brought IP2 into my life and made me really aware of IP2 was when Crystal Ann actually collabed with Chicken. I still, to think about it, it's just like, it still blows my mind that happened, because that just opened this huge door between the Carterverse and IP2, even more than it did with Aaron and Mondo. Like, Aaron and Mondo was kind of like the foot in the door, and then Chicken and Crystal Ann just kind of just kicked that door wide open. And then after that, all hell broke loose. The Carterverse and IP2 like completely merged, and then all bets were off, no holds barred. It's just anyone's guess. Now it's like, who's gonna fucking collab with who's gonna be with who. I've met so many people through all that experience, and then through IP2, and I haven't even met them all yet through IP2. And then we've had other people from other communities like Outcast Owls that are like have somehow wound up on the radar, and it's just been like a domino effect, like this weird chain of events that got set off by all these people, that they're all very dynamic personalities, very dynamic people. And I just love everybody. Like, I really respect everybody for providing content and doing what they do, and just having like the personalities to do it, and the wherewithal and the thick skin, because it takes thick ass skin to be a streamer, and it takes, unfortunately, sacrifice. It's, you know, like, it's hard, you know, like, you don't realize it, but like, I didn't realize what I was getting into for sure. There were times I didn't necessarily believe things that Aaron was saying about the gang stalking and the smear campaign and all of that, until it happened to me. And it was like, so I wasn't like willingly trying to sacrifice anything. It just unfortunately happened, which I'm obviously fighting against. But you know, it's been a major double-edged sword in my life. It's like fucked up a lot of shit in my life. I'm not gonna lie. It's changed my life immensely, and it's also brought like some really dear, amazing people into my life. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You know, shit's cray. That's why I would love to really speak to Vegan Patriot and Trina both to kind of get their experience. Because, so then Chicken Andy and Crystal kicked the door open with IP2 and Carterverse, and then everybody just started, it was like a free-for-all. Everyone started like collaborating basically. And then the next collab between IP2 and Carterverse, I believe, was myself and Captain Content. And that's what really kicked off my streamer career, because I did learn a lot from Captain. Captain was a great person to be trained by when it comes to streaming. So yeah, basically, then I collabed with Captain, and he taught me a lot, and he basically, he taught me a lot about streaming, and I wish that we would have just kept it platonic. Let's just put it that way. Now, that being said, I hate him too, American Eagle. I actually really despise him, and I think he's just the shittiest fucking person on IP2, like legit. And that's what I was gonna say. Now, had we just stayed platonic friends, I still can't guarantee that we would be speaking now, because of the fucked up shit he said about children, and that really, really bothers me. I'm not okay with that. I cannot endorse that. I can't keep letting it slide. I can't make excuses for someone that continues to do that kind of thing and speak on that in a sick way on children. I can't. Sorry, not sorry, can't do it. And that brings in, Jacob into question as well. Very disappointed with what I heard about the whole 14 situation with Jacob. I also heard Captain was there with Jacob in Mexico during that whole thing, which raises a lot of concerns and questions, you know what I mean? Jacob is another story, though. I'm not pardoning anything that he did or said one bit, because it disgusts me. I do know a little bit about Jacob's background, and it just makes me really sad. And I think Jacob just needs like guidance and needs like good, like real friends in his life that are not gonna, it wouldn't surprise me if he was with Cappy when that experience happened, because I could see someone like Captain trying to take advantage of someone like Jacob and trying to lead them astray for content, for views, whatever. And it's evil. It's really evil. So as long as Jacob has learned from that experience and he doesn't make the same mistake ever again, that would be a good thing. That would be a very good thing. And people, if that is the case, I think he needs to address the situation, because we've all seen what he was talking about and how he was talking about it. And I think he needs to just address the situation head on, and instead of like making up excuses, and just say like, listen, I've learned, I will never do that again. I apologize. He should probably apologize to the entire community. He needs to do some damage control and try to repair his image. And I think it would mean a lot to the community for him to like publicly come out and denounce that kind of behavior and say like, listen, I understand how wrong that is now, and I will never do that again. I'm sorry. I think I think people would possibly give him another chance if he's dead serious about it. You know what I mean? I think that Jacob has experienced a lot of trauma in his childhood and his early life. And I don't know if you guys caught the stream with him and Attila on his birthday, but it literally had me in tears. So I do feel for Jacob. I really do. And I think that Jacob seems like a nice guy. He's not like a fucking asshole. It's just that one thing everybody hates him for, which I understand. I understand why. I understand why people are pissed. I completely understand why. I just hope that he's not that person. And I understand that people can make mistakes. You know what I mean? But you need to learn from those mistakes, and you need to correct that behavior and not make those mistakes again. Ever again. It's unacceptable. And that's what he really should come out and say, like, listen, that was unacceptable, and I apologize, and it will never happen again. I've learned. I know better now. I might not have known better at the time, but now I know better, and I promise it will never happen again. I think that would put a lot of people's minds at ease. You know what I mean? I think Jacob could use some guidance and could use some good friends that have his back. I think Chicken's one of them. I really do. I think Jacob has a real friend in Chicken. And I think Attila too, to be honest. I think Attila has, like, really has a heart for Jacob. Like, Attila was the only one to go and, like, hang out with Jacob on his birthday. You know what I mean? And trust me, he did not want to leave my side because he had a big crush on me. Sorry, Jewel. But he did because he loves Jacob so much. And that was really sweet of him. Attila does have a sweet side, too. He's not just, like, a total rageaholic. Captain will like having Jacob around because he can manipulate him. Exactly. Again, another more horrible behavior from Captain. Exactly.